Howdy, Dennis Bradford here. Let's think some about being, feeling, and doing better. What's a simple way to feel better quickly? Focus on being of service to someone else. It's not a matter of solving their problems. Instead, it's just a matter of being there. Be with another simply to lighten the burden. That affirms their being. It affirms their worth. How? Perhaps the simplest way is listening well. Listening well is listening with your heart, not just with your ears. What gift is more precious than the gift of a listening heart? We're able to give it whenever we want. How? Simply remember to practice listening well. That means listening without distraction. Just invite the communication and listen. Doing anything without distraction is not easy. Without training, our minds are out of control. The best way to control incessant thoughting is to master any effective breathing practice, such as, for example, zazen meditation or aliveness awareness. Nothing is better at helping us to focus and let go of distracting thoughts. Like everything we do, listening occurs in the present moment. Listening well is impossible when we are remembering the past, imagining the future, or focused on what is elsewhere. Listening well requires being fully present right here, right now. Correct me if I'm wrong, but most of us are walking around with a lot of hurt, heartache, and resentment. We are not incessantly joyful. Instead, we are almost always incessantly dissatisfied. We miss much of our lives because we are lost in our thoughts. We're stuck on our dissatisfactions. We forget to be grateful about our satisfactions. We tend to take them for granted. Besides, if there's no problem, what's to think about? So, we think about our problems. We develop a negative mindset. Developing empathy for the predicament that others are in makes us predisposed to listen well. Listening well to another begins with adopting an other-directed attitude. Being sensitive to the concerns and problems of others requires suspending our egocentric concerns. It's letting go of self. Listening well is a meditative or spiritual practice. The more we're focused on gaining what we want, the less well we are able to listen. There's an important irony here. We think that we'll enjoy experiences more if we're focused on gaining what we want from them. Life doesn't work that way. The more we are focused on gaining what we want from experiences, the less we enjoy them. That's the truth about the way of the world, which is always trying to gain what we want and trying to avoid or lose what we don't want. Encounters, interpersonal relationships, are important. As a result, we often try to control them so that we gain what we want from them. Since other people don't want us to manage them, that tactic usually works quite poorly. The better way is to be open to whatever happens. This means letting go of trying to use encounters for personal gain. Instead of being egocentric and focusing on ourselves, it's better, wiser, more loving to focus on the other person. This doesn't normally mean trying to make decisions for them. It means helping them to think clearly about their options and then supporting whatever decisions they make. Again, there is no knowledge of right and wrong. That really means that you and I never know what someone else should or shouldn't do. Be humble. There's no knowledge of future consequences. Life is difficult. Adopt an attitude of unconditional positive regard. Give advice only if asked, and then reluctantly. Doing this is giving the gift of a listening heart. How does it make you feel when someone listens attentively and non-judgmentally to what you have to say? How does it make you feel when someone shares life with you that way? Avoid making things worse. There are two chief ways we do that when listening. The first is talking too much. Focus instead on asking good questions and talking no more than is necessary. The second is giving unsolicited advice. Don't, unless asked to help, resist the temptation to try to fix others' lives. Don't take my word about the value of listening well. If you don't already realize it, please test this for yourself. Once you realize how well it works, just keep practicing it. Instead of focusing on self, focus on other. Ultimately, there's no essential difference. Though it's not easy, listening well is as simple as it is valuable. Let's end prolonged emotional distress.